mushroom floating through outer space. I'm Jordan.
Hi. I'm Maddie. Ah!
Oh my god.
And welcome back to The Power of Two Will Do Nothing for You, a podcast reviewing every episode of the TV show Charmed.
Uh-huh. Yes. Oh.
I'm agreeing
yes.
with you, Heinrich.
This week, we're talking about Season 1, Episode 13, From Fear to Eternity.
Lovely, and it's scary.
It spooks me.
It traumatized me as a child.
Yeah, I still think about it when I'm in the shower.
I can't cope with it.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
So we open up to our little twinkly shots of San Francisco.
Twinkly, twinkly.
And the clock, 'tis ticking.
'Tis ticking.
'Tis. Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot. This is written by Tony Blake and Paul Jackson and directed by Les Sheldon.
Lovely.
Les Sheldon? Anyway.
Les Sheldon.
Les Sheldon.
And we open on Prue and Phoebe shopping at a metaphysical store at midnight.
What metaphysical stores open? I mean, I guess maybe it's like City. Woo.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely weird. Like, who shops at... And I guess it's not even midnight. It's almost 1.
That's crazy.
It's almost 1 a.m. and they're shopping at this metaphysical store. But they're looking for a good luck charm for Phoebe because she has a job interview the next day, right? Is that what they say?
I would also argue if you are getting a good luck charm, it should be a violently impulsive decision. In that kind of place. Like, just pick one. Like, they're having this whole... Like, they're taking too long.
That's kind of what they do. But the shop owner says that they need to hurry it up because she wants to close before 1 a.m.
We're starting strong with Friday the 13th lore.
Yes.
Yeah.
She wants to close before the clock strikes 13.
And, of course, she has 2 little braids because all occultists have silly little hair.
They do tend to. Here I am. I have my hair's being held by a stick.
I didn't even think about it. Okay.
My hair's being held by a stick, folks. So, I think her hair looks really cute.
It does look cute. I'm just saying it's funny. It's annoying, but it's accurate.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you do have to buckle up this episode for some serious misinformation about Friday the 13th
I was gonna say,
that I'm going to be really annoying about.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that.
But I will say, I love this witchy shop ho instantly. Her vibe is correct.
Yeah, and she's got a little sign-up sheet.
Mailing list? Of course. They still have one.
Phoebe signs up.
Always sign up.
She signs up. Writes her little name and stuff. And the clock strikes 13.
Also, Tangela. Incredible name.
That is a good name.
Tangela.
That is a good name.
Yeah, and I love that Phoebe would be all skeptical when she just killed a Wendigo, like, last week.
Yeah. Like, what? What do you have to be skeptical about? Your sister almost turned into a Wendigo.
Yeah, and the clock struck 13.
Clock
there were
13
it's
jingle jangles already.
Yeah. It's happening. And Tangela's stressed. She's like, it's all over. It's all ogre now.
Yes. But also this shop owner, when they're checking out, gives them a little bit of like a tidbit of information about Friday the 13th, which again, you know, this is not true at all. But she says once every 1,300 years, there is a convergence of negative energy on Friday the 13th. And then, did you hear that? The clock struck 13.
Oh, it's the convergence. Yes. And then we're outside the shop. And what happens? A pink swirly, a puff of smoke, and a demon!
Some guy wearing all black.
Yeah.
But yeah, they drive away. The ladies drive away. And then there's a demon.
And then we introduce Barbas, played by Billy Drago.
Haunting my nightmares
since I was a child. Haunt me and this show forever.
This is literally, that's the guy of my nightmares.
Oh, yeah.
I've been terrified of him since I saw this episode as a child. But he comes up to the shop, trying to come in. She's like, we're closed. Because, you know, demons are polite.
Knock, knock. And then she says, we be closing.
But then he just walks through the door.
Yeah, if you're just going to evaporate through the door, don't knock.
Even knock?
Don't knock. I guess maybe
it's like
you're giving
when
me
that
a
guy
warning.
used his key finger to...
Yeah.
I was like, just break down the door.
It's like, just slam in there. Yeah. Yeah, she picks up a talisman, a little amulet, and he's like, that's for babies.
Like, that's really cute.
Yeah.
He said, I'm not scared of that.
Uh-huh.
And then he goes, this is what's so scary to me, is he does like nothing. That's when it's the most
He just goes.
over her face, like a shadow goes over her face, and then he knows her worst fear.
And it's so specific. It's being buried alive in an earthquake, which is such an unbelievably California fear.
It is a very California fear.
Yeah. It makes it makes me think the writers like asked everyone they knew in like the writers' room and like their whole family, like, what's your biggest fear? And someone was like
being buried in an earthquake.
Because that's real specific. Like I've definitely thought about that.
Yeah, and this actor who plays this demon, he's does
so
such a good job.
Yeah.
Like I feel like a lot of the demons on this show, it's like okay, or they're like hokey, and he really just like he is relishing this woman's fear. He is enjoying it. He is schadenfreude.
He's a messed up little guy.
You know, like it is great. It is terrifying. I was so scared. He's like, you're frozen in fear. Oh my God. And I loved this because when I was watching, I was like, oh my God, all this scary stuff. And then they pan over to her dead and somebody put a horrible wig on her.
That is giving written by a man. Like, oh my God, you scared her to death and now she's got gray hair.
Yeah.
like a witch, like an old decrepit fool.
Is it really hard to get a good wig?
Yeah, but why would that be what you scared her
It's
to
okay
death
if they
so
wanted
she's
to
got
do that.
gray
Like,
hair?
So there's like a physical shock value of like, oh my God, she clearly was terrified.
She could just be dead.
But
That's a shock.
It's like, why? It's such a bad wig.
Yeah.
Like it's like a Party City wig.
Shows with big budge are notorious for their bad wigs.
Yeah, they don't hire a queen.
I was gonna say they don't have enough people that
just
are.
hire a queen.
Yeah.
Like just bite the bullet. Hire a queen. Don't send her straight to do a gay's job.
Oh my God. I know, and
I've talked about this episode in therapy. I was gonna say that. I've literally talked about this episode in therapy because it gave me an OCD
Can you
behavior.
Say what aspect?
When we get to the scene,
okay.
I'll tell you what OCD behavior.
Yeah,
it
trigger
gave me.
warning.
I still have it. No, I've moved past it a little though. Actually,
Yeah, but
I've
you
moved past it.
trigger
but
warning.
it still comes into my head. But then I go, "You silly little OCD voice."
Yeah, you goose.
Tisk tisk. That's not true or helpful. That's what I say.
Not helpful.
But the real song that plays after the intro is I've Seen the Signs by Wade Hubbard and Dana Glover, which I cannot find anywhere.
Can you please Shazam this? I didn't get to do it.
Yes. So the song on the streaming service version is Ain't Life Sweet by Jamie Gerard.
I actually think it works.
I feel like it's fine.
Yeah.
That's one of the substitutions that I'm okay with.
Yeah.
But I can't remember. I'm annoyed because I can't remember what the DVD version sounded like. Like I wrote down what it was, but it's not on Spotify. So like I don't know. I don't remember exactly what it sounded like, but I think it was similar to the vibe of this replacement song.
Okay.
But the replacement's actually good.
It is. Yeah. And we're just seeing we open up on Piper looking at a little amulet-y necklace guy. And another little necklace guy, because we find out that Piper is quite superstitious. Which, I mean, fair. You were just a Wendigo.
Oh, we missed we didn't mention at the end of that scene where the demon kills that shop owner. He swipes after she's dead. He swipes his hand over the sign-up sheet for the mailing list and gets more of the information for the witches that are on that sheet. So he got Phoebe's information. So we're circling back to that. Oh, also, and then we see all the ladies chatting at the manor. And it's funny because one little thing that happens is Prue gave Phoebe an outfit. And Piper's like, wow, you gave her an outfit. That's like progress.
She's like, are you feeling well?
Yeah. She's like, are you all right?
Yeah. And I also think it's funny because what kind of outfit is this?
What do you mean?
That Phoebe's wearing? Isn't it like a short skirt and a suit jacket?
It's not a short skirt. It's like a full
medium
office
skirt?
ensemble. It's like a pencil skirt, I think.
Okay.
With like a blazer.
Okay.
And a sensible choker.
I mean, she looks sharp.
Yes.
But
I also love there's this funny joke moment. Again, Piper having great zinger lines. Prue says that she had a dream about their mom. And I think, is it Phoebe who says like, oh, I want to have a dream about mom. And then Piper's like,
Mom would have to knock before she came into your dreams. Ooh.
It's just a little teenage joke. Piper's being superstitious because it's Friday the 13th and she's coming off her Wendigo experience. So she's real nervous. And she yells at one of the gals. She's like, cover your mouth when you yawn. Because apparently that's a superstition. About that being bad luck? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me.
We
But
also
do cover your mouth because nobody wants to see your gross fucking mouth.
Yeah.
And your nasty breath.
we also introduced this whole thing where Prue doesn't say "I love you,"
Yes, Prue
which
has a
is
hard time
so
saying, "I
weird
love
to
you."
me because we grew up like whenever I hear that from anyone, we just grew up in such a like constant
Yeah, we were
"I
constantly
love you"
like,
family.
Like we don't hang up the phone without saying I love
Yeah.
you. Every night we say I love you. Like
Yeah.
we go somewhere for a long time. I'm like, bye, I love you. See you later.
It's just like automatic, so I
yeah.
just think that's so interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. But we do get into like why, and she's a
Oh,
really
yeah,
good
for
reason.
sure.
She's a really good
Yeah.
reason why. But I am fascinated by curses and the concept of curses. So this is kind of fun.
Yeah.
But they are discussing like, is Friday the 13th cursed? Is it
Mhm.
real? Are we being silly? Guys.
Yeah, so of course Andy shows up to the house and talks to Prue
Yeah.
and says, "Hey, just so you know, I found out that there was a murder and you were the last one there
Of
before the
course,
murder."
as always.
Which standard, we should expect
Every day.
it at this point.
Yes.
We should just know that
Yeah.
that's what's happening.
Yeah. Oh, and did we mention that Phoebe got that new outfit from Prue because she's got a new job in real estate?
Yes.
She's going to be working in real estate.
So that's
in an
her
office.
businesswoman
So that's
special.
her, that's her businesswoman special. But Andy's nervous because there's many dead ladies in one night. Already 3 dead ladies since that first dead lady we saw get killed.
Yeah.
Since midnight. So that's a lot of dead ladies.
I know. And he also
And
says...
they died of a heart attack from fear.
Yeah. He also says, go to occult bookstore. Go to occult stores at midnight often.
Yes.
And I just love that they were all the victims had ties to the occult.
Ties to the occult.
What is that?
I love when cops say that.
Yeah,
they'll do
they
that in,
love
like,
the
true
word
crime
occult,
stuff too.
yeah.
I'm like, oh, that doesn't mean anything.
What is the definition of the word occult?
I don't know, like I would have to Google like the actual book definition, but I think it's just anything having to do
God.
with like metaphysical, magical, spiritual nonsense. Should we Google it?
I'm just curious.
Let's find out, folks. Supernatural, mystical, or magical beliefs, practices, or phenomenon.
All right.
Yeah, anything relating to the supernatural or mystical or magical.
Mm-hmm. Well, whatever.
Like when a person who's Christian dies, or they had connections to the church.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Also, I'm sorry, but if this guy, Barbas, doesn't get out...
Who? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Barbas?
Yeah.
If not a real name.
he doesn't get out every 1,300 years, like that's how... Like, of course, he's bored.
Demon
He's
name.
got
Shout
a
out
lot
to Barbas.
do.
Barbas the demon.
Oh my God.
That's an easy Halloween costume. It's just like a black suit.
Yeah, but you can't do the terrifying magic, so you
No,
can't
but
really
you could
make it
act
authentic.
like you were all night. Just walk up to people and go.
True.
And they're like, you're weird. And Prue's looking at the Book of Shadows for information on Friday the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
And she does see in the book a demon of fear that comes to Earth every 1,300 years and feeds on the fears of specifically witches to survive.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in her mom's handwriting.
Yeah, and they're saying this is the
So they
first
note
time
that. Yeah.
they've found anything that's
That they
written
found
by their
anything
mom.
written by their mom in the book. So they're wondering if their mom put that specifically there because they knew, their mom knew that this would be happening in their lifetimes.
Also, I'm curious where this comes from. It makes me so crazy. This is another one of those, like, don't, like, sometimes, like, men should just stop sometimes. I'm sorry.
Yes,
they
they
wrote that he has to kill 13 unmarried. You had to specify
witches.
for some reason
Yeah,
unmarried
unmarried
witches by
witches.
midnight. Not only that, but then we double down. And Piper says, as if being people who are single don't have it hard enough. It's
like being single is the worst. Being a single woman is the worst thing
oh
you could
my
be.
God.
But maybe I should say a quick little what the real history of Friday the 13th is.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, Friday the 13th, today, we know it as like a day of bad luck, a day of hiding in your house, trying not to interact with anyone because something bad could happen, you know, superstitions and all that stuff. It's supposed to be unlucky. But the history of Friday the 13th is that back before Christianity, when everyone was still pagan, Friday the 13th was a day of honoring womanhood and womanity and just women and divine feminine and the goddess. So naturally, like Christianity tends to do, when the Christian Bible and everything came around, the gospel of Christianity, they decided we're going to take this day that's all about celebrating women and we're going to turn it into a day of evil and demonery and fear and unluckiness. So now everybody thinks that Friday the 13th is like a bad, scary day, but really it's just really supposed to be a day like for women.
A day with the girls.
But yeah, so next time somebody's like, oh, Friday the 13th, drop some knowledge on them.
Yeah. Well. And also based on the book, they don't know how to stop him.
Yeah, they don't know what to do about this guy.
They also mentioned that their powers will be paralyzed because they're afraid.
Yeah, so
we've
when they're
never
terrified, they can't use their powers.
they've up until this point, I feel like they've just been like baby magic or whatever, and they're just kind of in the moment, luckily not dying. That's the theme.
Yeah.
And now they're having to actually like strategize and figure out what to do if they don't have their power.
Yeah, and they're talking about how this demon has to kill 13 single witches by midnight to free himself from the underworld. So obviously we don't want that happening. And there's also this funny moment where they're they're kind of saying to each other like, okay, well, you stay away from this and you stay away from this because they're scared of stuff. And
as if he's not magic.
What does she say about? I only wrote what he says after. I don't know why I did that.
What for? What?
It's not really a fear. I just prefer buses.
I know that you're afraid of flying. It's not really a fear. I just prefer buses.
She's afraid of flying.
Oh, okay, yeah, she's afraid of flying. Just prefer buses.
Who prefers buses?
Like,
also,
stay home.
I think it's funny that they're like, well, if you avoid this and you avoid this and you avoid this, you'll be fine. Like, he's a demon. He can torture you with fear to death. It's not really there.
Yeah. And they're like, we should call Phoebe and tell her to stay away from elevators because she's scared of elevators. Prue's scared of water, so Piper's like, stay away from water. And Prue's acting cocky like she typically does. Like, oh, I can't be scared. I'm not worried. And
I don't know why you almost became
I know,
Moira
it's Moira
Rose.
But I also think this is crazy because if this is me and my sisters, I'm like, okay, we're staying together the whole day. You know?
Yeah.
Like, you're calling in sick for work. We're all going to stay in the same room together
for
all
the
day.
foreseeable future.
If you need to go to the bathroom, we're all going to the bathroom.
Yeah, literally.
Like, he can't target us if all three of us are together in the same
True,
room
yeah,
all day until midnight.
Right.
Problem solved. There you go.
And he only came back for this Halloween night.
Exactly.
So sorry.
Exactly.
And yeah, because they find out Phoebe's scared of elevators.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, well, I won't take any elevators. It's like, you think
It's
he
not
can't
that
just
simple.
bump you into an elevator?
Well,
Bump?
it's also just so funny. You think that's your worst fear? An elevator?
Right, yeah, like dig deeper, hun.
Like, I hate when somebody's like, what's your worst fear? And then they're like, oh my God, I'm terrified of snakes.
It's like,
I'm
how
like,
about
no, how
dying
about, like,
alone?
Yeah, how about like being trapped in a space alone, slowly dying? Like, that sounds terrifying. Thank you. Let me hit you with some
being
fear.
teleported to another plane and nobody believes you when you say, I'm not from this plane.
Exactly.
That's a real fear.
You understand. Wow.
Yeah, you do your big stretch. Well, you better lay down because you're testing your luck today.
Okay, you gonna play it? Well, you better lay down.
Bring it over, bring it over, bring
Come
it
show
over,
the people your
boy.
handsome
Come.
face. Come,
Atlas, come.
put your paws up.
This is the one time I'll let you do this. What are you doing? Come up. Come up. Jump
Paws,
up.
paws on
Who
the leg.
are you?
You're acting like all proper now. Okay, we'll play it.
Wait, jump up. Okay, yes.
Is he handsome, man?
Oh, he
Oh,
blew
he
in
gave
the
a
ear.
kiss.
Oh, good boy. Okay.
Anyway.
He will kiss you if you
He
five
will kiss you.
$5 kisses for my son from my son, who's a handsome 44-pound pity bull mutt who screams and gets too excited and bites you and kisses you on the ear. You cannot be mad at him because he's too handsome.
Okay, play it.
This wasn't important to you?
It's very important.
God.
I can't think of anything more important.
I'm sorry. If I said I love you to my sister and she said, yep,
Yeah,
I'd throwing
be
down.
I'd be like, well,
I'm going to go kill myself. No, not really.
but Prue decides she's going to go try to warn some more witches about what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where she's off to.
Right. Yeah. Yep. She waves her off. Love you. Yep.
Yeah, right.
Oh.
And then we go to Phoebe at her new job.
Mhm.
She's doing an interview, and she gets hired on the spot
On the spot.
with
Which,
no experience, which is
None.
already a red flag. And then as soon as she hires her, this guy walks in and is her new boss's boyfriend. Her new boss has a husband.
Right.
So this is her new boss's boyfriend.
Yeah, she was like, quickly, like, cover for me in my
Yeah.
affair. Bye.
And she's like, if my husband calls, tell him I'm out, cover for me.
Right.
I'm leaving. This is your first day. Just answer the phone. Like, I don't even know where the bathroom is. Shit.
yeah, you're asking me to cover for your affair?
Like,
What?
you just hired me. Now you're leaving? You're dipping out? Okay.
Also, she just met her. She just gives her the
yeah,
keys.
Phoebe could be
Gives
crazy.
her the keys.
Phoebe could be nuts.
Ugh, not right. So now Phoebe's got an immediate moral dilemma.
Yeah. But she's like, okay, I guess I'm working here.
Mm-hmm.
And then we cut to this gloriously beautiful Whimsigoth
Wait,
home.
I have an important statement.
Oh my God.
Shout out to the
Rice-A-Roni.
Rice-A-Roni ad on the trolley. Spot that Rice-A-Roni ad.
Rice-A-Roni.
Rice-A-Roni. No, I don't have a passion. I don't know
why.
when. I haven't eaten
She's
Rice-A-Roni
a
since I was a
spokesperson for
child.
Rice-A-Roni.
Okay.
But this
But
home
yes.
is beautiful, Whimsigoth.
Great set
purple,
dressing,
all
yeah.
purple Whimsigoth home. Looks like it's probably the exact same space that What's-Her-Face was living in, that sassy girl who wanted to be our sister. What was her name? She was a teenager?
Yeah, even like the first episode ever of
Yeah.
the show with the
The
this
walls
is like,
are always purple.
Hell no. Sit, lay down. I wish you could sit in my lap. Trust me, you were born the wrong size. It's not my fault.
Yeah, you should be a little baby.
He was meant to be. Are you gonna come up here? You're gonna try to sit in my lap like a young, handsome son. Ah. He's a puppy. No, he's
Say
2.
something to the people.
He is. You want to speak into the microphone? Speak into it. Come up. Up. Oh, he doesn't.
Okay, he's got, like, what are we doing? Because
Okay, he'll just be quiet.
okay.
Okay. Anyway, Whimsigoth.
And this gal, we see this witch, and she's like,
No screaming.
she's like ready for the demon. She was expecting him, and when he comes in, she turns around. She's like, "I knew you were coming."
Yeah.
She's real confident in her witchly abilities.
But he does say, like, all he really needs is for you to be alone.
Yeah. So,
Which
girl,
is
what?
fright. The reason this is especially frightening is really it's near impossible to control your fear.
Yeah, like you can't really control that.
What am I going to do?
No, but she says to him basically like, "I've done all my shadow work,
which is
on
like
myself,
proof that you haven't.
and
honestly.
I am egoless, and I have no fear." And I'm like, "Girl, how ignorant are you?" But he does the hand swipey thing that's so spooky, and he finds out that her fear is what? Fire, burning alive.
Yeah, which
And
not
she
good.
tries to put out the he like a little burst of flame from one of the candles. Which, girl, a fire demon's coming to see you? You light a bunch of candles? I don't think so. Like
Maybe that was her way of being like, I'm not scared of fire anymore.
she's embracing it. But she tries. The little flame goes from the candle to the ground because the demon puts it there, and then she tries to put the fire out with her bare foot. When has that worked for anyone?
You don't know what's worked for me.
So she dies, and then somebody puts a horrible white wig on her. You know?
Horrible white wig.
It's horrible.
Yet again. And then we have Daryl and Andy being
The only 2 cops in the city.
cops. Yeah.
Cops.
Yeah, and Daryl's making fun of Andy's Converses, which I think is weird.
Yeah, we're making fun of his cute
But I
little
guess
white
it was
Converse.
like Converses were really popular, and then in the 90s they were not, and then they were like
Really
when I
popular
was
again.
a teenager, everybody had
Oh,
Converses.
yeah, I had,
and
like,
I was
every
like
color.
I was like, these horrible shoes are so uncomfortable, but I must wear them.
I have to fit in.
Yeah, so I don't know. Oh God.
Oh, that's a little boy.
Also, Daryl at this point to me has become more of a tolerable character.
Yes, he's becoming more the Daryl we know and
Yeah.
love later on in the
Right.
show. And also, Andy says that those Converse are his good luck charm.
They're his good luck charm.
So
Anyway.
then we're back at Quake with the gals.
Oh, she saw
yeah.
the crime scene.
Prue is traumatized from the crime scene she saw with the horrible white wig.
Yeah,
she just can't get out of her head.
She's
Who would
especially
put that wig
yeah.
on someone?
That's not right. Yeah, and they're, strategizing about how to avoid, and they're basically just like, let's avoid fear. It's like, let's avoid scary places.
And again, I'm like, okay, just all of you stay in a public place all together the whole rest of the day.
Yeah, and
Problem
Piper,
solved.
I love Piper. She's deeply delusional. She's, in her superstitious kick.
She's losing it.
And so she's like, you might get attacked by bad spirits. It's like, what happens to us every day?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Also, at one point, one of the gals says, and I can't remember which one, but one of the gals at one point says you can never be too rich or too safe. And that is the least false. That is the least accurate statement I've ever heard.
My feeling is you can never be too rich or too safe.
What does it mean to be too safe?
If you're too safe, you're never going to experience
But also,
life.
what does that even mean? Like,
And
you
if
get a whole
you're
philosophical
too rich,
thing.
you're a billionaire, and then you're like a horrible person.
Yeah, it's like in the other two when you like turn into a monster. Yeah.
Look how high I am.
Yeah.
And then a waiter walks by and spills everything he's got right on Prue.
Which is bad luck, I guess.
Yeah, which apparently is a sign of something bad, but it seems like he just tripped.
Yeah.
But she's going to go home to change by herself.
Yeah, and why is the restaurant having a superstition themed day? Like, isn't that asking for it? I'm confused. If you do believe in okay.
It is questionable. But I don't know why they would they're like, strategize. How do we avoid this? And then Prue's like, I'm going to go home. You know what? I'm going to go home because my shirt's a little wet. I'm tired of this. My shirt's a little bit wet, so I'm going to go home.
I'm just going to go home alone. No one come with me.
Yep. And, I'm afraid of water, so what am I going to do? I'm going to hop in the shower.
Well, what are you going to do?
Not that.
I mean, I get it.
Stay dirty all day.
See, but she's afraid of water in the way where she's like, my mom and stuff that happened. Not like taking a nice shower.
Well, she should have thought about it.
Oh, also, this handsome, gentle fellow comes up to Piper in the restaurant.
2000s, 90s, handsome,
He's
gentle
handsome.
Fellow. Yes, but he's got the haircut,
Yeah.
The 90s, 2000s haircut.
Yeah, I don't know what they,
I don't know what they were
doing. It's cute.
doing.
His hair looks nice.
He's a cutie. I'll give it to him.
He's got a plentiful head of hair.
Oh, and a little ladybug lands on him.
Mm-hmm.
And because Piper's
they were just
losing
talking about
they were talking about the ladybug because they found it on the flowers.
Like, what happens when I find a dead ladybug on the floor of my room? What's that mean?
Does that mean I'm doomed?
No, I think it means good luck.
Oh, great. But so Piper's being all superstitious, so she's like, this must be the guy for me because a ladybug landed on him. I don't know. That's not a good way to judge it, I don't think.
Yeah. And then Phoebe's flipping a coin on her new boss's affair. Like, what do I do? And the coin says, make your own choices.
Yeah, the coin lands right on the side.
If that ain't relatable.
So it's like, I'm not helping you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God. And then Phoebe knocks her water bottle over. And has a premonition of Prue in the shower, drowning in the shower.
I swear to you,
you were in the shower?
When I saw this, I was probably like late elementary school.
Oh, my God.
And I was
even younger than that. I was like 4.
Yeah, because remember Mom and Dad's old
old
shower? It was like
exactly like that.
It was just like that, and it was like a small little box that you shut yourself in.
Yeah. Like one of those old school shower doors that like clicks shut.
Yeah, clicks shut, and it was small.
Yeah.
Which,
if
you're having a normal time, fine.
It's great.
But if you see Charmed and this happens, not so good. I was stressed. And then you can't leave the shower door open because you get water everywhere. I don't know. I still think about this.
No, and like I said, I told you, I've talked about this episode in therapy.
Oh my God.
And I'm not lying.
About that part?
Yes, because it gave me a compulsion because I have OCD. It gave me a compulsion.
Trigger warning.
Yes, it gave me a compulsion where I could not close any shower door.
Yeah, she'd be getting the floor wet as hell.
Literally for years. I only stopped doing it when I was like 22.
Mm-hmm.
And I started doing it when I was a kid. Yeah. I could not close the door. And literally,
damn you, Barbas!
She would yell at me because we shared a bathroom. My mom would yell at me. She'd be like, you're getting water all over the place.
Yeah.
I didn't want to drown.
Mm-hmm. And Phoebe tries to call Prue and warn her, but she gets intercepted by Barbas.
Yeah. She's also in the shower. So
yeah, and Barbas is just standing there watching her, and then she sees that, which that's already enough for me to just check myself in somewhere.
I am out.
Yeah.
Just dissociated. I'm floating above.
He tries to put it on her. He's like, your greatest fear is drowning. Thanks for making it so easy. It's like, what do you mean? By taking a shower, I gotta wash my ass.
Yeah. I gotta...
I'll go.
You could have waited until tomorrow. But she's freaking out.
That's
she's
true.
freaking
You
out.
you literally had to
She's
wait
like
one day.
banging on the shower and screaming and freaking out. And I am also freaking out. My inner child is freaking out. Ugh, and he's just going to sit there and watch us drown, honestly. But then Prue is trying to use her power, and it's not working.
And she can't.
Because remember, like their mom said in the Book of Shadows, their powers are useless when they're afraid. You're frozen in fear.
Stop.
Your powers are frozen by your fear.
I still think this is a good Halloween costume.
And-
all night, you could just be like,
I will say Shannon Doherty is giving. I really believe she's trapped in that shower.
some of the best.
No.
Very scary.
But luckily, as always, Andy shows up at the door at the perfect time.
To accidentally save us. He's
constantly
accidentally
saving us. We love it.
But they hear screaming. So they kick in the door and they
But then
run up
it's
there.
so embarrassing. It's like maximum embarrassing.
Yeah. The demon zips away.
She's just crying in the shower.
Yeah, and they just see a naked girl in the shower crying. They're like, "What's wrong, naked girl?"
Oh, man.
Like, she's obviously just been like
Yeah, but
through
what do you
something.
mean? What do you think they're assuming?
Well, no,
I
they can
assume the
tell.
demon Barbas had you trapped in the shower drowning.
No, but Andy says, like, I can tell, like, something occurred. Like, you're obviously
yeah.
spooked. You were screaming.
But there's no
but,
way
like,
to assume.
she
like,
won't tell them what happened because obviously, what are you supposed to say? I think you could have just said there was a man in the bathroom.
Right. I mean,
he had me trapped in the shower,
She's not in a place
and
to
he was gonna
communicate.
kill me. You don't have to be like, "Oh, I got soap in my eye."
She
Like,
was
girl.
panicking. She didn't know what to do.
This also stresses me out because when she gets out of the shower,
I
all the
hate
water
that.
comes
Water
pouring
damage.
out.
Let me tell
I'm
you
like,
something.
Girl,
You don't want to mess with water damage.
you could have let it drain. I know you're scared
Yeah.
and you want to get out, but like mold, mildew, do you know what that will
Not
do to your
good.
lungs and your body?
Let me tell you.
Your sinus?
Your gut, it's not good.
Now we go to our special guest, a doctor. No, I don't know.
Oh
I'm
my
sorry.
God. Yeah, so now Prue's looking all like a baby dog in a towel,
Aw.
sad and scared. And
A
Daryl
baby dog.
Daryl and Andy are like, what's going on? And she's like, let's just...
Not talk about it.
Yeah, so she's telling them about the previous white wig woman.
Yeah. And as usual, we're like, Prue, are you the one killing people? Because she found that body. She was the first one to find that body. That she was the last one at that store before that other lady died. Like, it's looking very suspicious. And then they get to her house and she's like, oh, I got soap in my eye.
And you know what? Sometimes you boys really get on my nerves.
You boys. Prue also is being rude to Andy about his Converse sneakers.
Yeah, which
I don't
come
think it's fair.
on.
That is an endearing quality.
Maybe they're saying like, "Oh, you're like a cop man. You can't do
You
that."
should be wearing serious boy shoes.
I think that
That's boring.
if anything, it makes me trust him a little.
Yeah. He's expressing
So-
himself.
Yeah, and Phoebe comes in mid-conversation like a
Like, hey, you dead?
Yeah,
Did you live?
She's got an urgency.
Yeah. Ugh. This is the only time where we can say thank God for these cops, because if they hadn't shown up,
Not the
Phoebe
only
would have
time,
arrived
but
to a dead sister.
not good.
Well, one of very few
Pretty
times I can
traumatic.
count on one hand.
Yeah, pretty traumatic.
Oh, oh.
Hold on, my dog's maybe yelling. Can you lay down and just chill? My dead dad was in here a lot. Can you still smell him? Sniff around. Like, do something.
Thank God I was recording for that.
Oh.
My dad was in here a lot. Can you still smell him?
Come up
Yeah,
and
if you go in
kiss
that
me.
room back there, buddy, that's just straight up Grandpa.
Mm.
He looked.
Oh.
You wanna go sniff Grandpa? That's what Grandpa smelled like.
But Prue takes her towel off her head. She's got a streak of white.
A streak of white. Trendy.
She came close to death.
Trend alert.
Trend
Streak
alert.
of gray.
That is actually happening.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, it was. I don't know if it is anymore.
I like it. And then we're back up in the attic looking at the Book of Shadows because we need help.
And Prue smells sandalwood, which apparently their mom used to wear a fragrance with sandalwood in it. And I love having that information because I love sandalwood.
It is good.
And one time I saw a thing where someone insulted sandalwood and it gave me a crisis of...
How dare they? Yeah, so Prue smells basically their mom.
Turns out mom's been scribbling in the Book of Shadows.
Yeah, and then Phoebe's looking at the Book of Shadows and she's like, oh, did you miss this? This is in mom's handwriting. And Prue's like, that was not there before. So it seems like their mom saw Prue almost die
Uh-huh.
and then was like, oh, I should help my children.
She was like, these hoes
She
need help.
Started jotting some things down.
Mm-hmm.
And Prue says she can also feel her presence,
Mm-hmm.
which is really cute. I like that.
And also, if you've had someone die, sometimes that is a thing.
That is a thing. You'll smell them.
Smell them, yeah.
Or you'll suddenly
it's weird.
feel
it's
like
scary.
they're there.
Get all hot and weird.
It's definitely
Like,
a thing.
whoa.
Get all hot and weird.
And then, of course, at the end of the scene, Phoebe says, I love you. Prue says, yeah, you too, or something.
I love you. Me too.
And Phoebe's like, why do you do that? And I love a tender Prue and Phoebe moment.
Yeah, but what their mom wrote in the book is basically information about releasing their fears. She's trying to help them not be so vulnerable to this demon.
Mm-hmm.
But we finally get in this scene why Prue won't say I love you.
Yeah.
And she says it's because that's the last thing she said to their mom before their mom died is I love you. So she is afraid to say it to people because she doesn't want them to die. Which
Low-key giving
honestly,
OCD, yeah.
it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I'm on the same
Mm-hmm.
wavelength.
In better news, at Quake, we have a reappearance of Dropping Stuff Boy.
Ah, yes, dropping stuff boy. We love him.
Mm-hmm.
You know him. You love him. Welcome to the stage.
Mm-hmm.
Dropping stuff boy. Piper's
And-
having bad luck.
Yeah, it's not good.
Since she said yes to going on a date with that ladybug boy.
Ladybug man.
We're going to call him Ladybug Boy. Oh my God. And then she goes in the kitchen and lights sage. Well, I think it's supposed to be sage. Doesn't she say it's sage?
I don't know.
But it's cedar. It's a cedar bundle.
Which is less problematic.
Yes, she lights a cedar bundle with the stove and immediately sets the fire alarm off.
And it's the
Like,
strangest...
girl, you're in a kitchen at a restaurant. Do you know how sensitive those smoke
Yeah.
detectors are?
It's also a strange smoke detector sound.
Yeah.
Sage so fair from far and wide, take my troubles and brush them aside.
Yeah, see, this is where I had a problem.
Oh, yeah, 'cause
she
she
lights
says
the
it's
cedar
sage,
bundle, and
yeah.
then she says, sage, blah, blah, blah. Like, says a whole thing that's sage, and I'm too tired to get into it.
What is that sound? I'm saying it's terrible.
Oh my
I've
God,
never
I was
heard a
like-
smoke detector like that. You thought I
It
was
is
on
horrible.
crack?
It's like a horrible emergency alarm. I don't like it. And we're back at Phoebe's work, and her boss's husband has
And he
showed
seems
up.
like a nice guy.
And I know him from something. Wait, isn't that? Do I know him from something?
I
Maybe
don't
he
know.
just looks like a lot of guys.
Probably. I mean, a lot of guest stars in this show, you
Yeah.
know, are like recognizable.
Yeah, but Phoebe's like, oh God, what do I do? He's like, do you know where my wife is? And she's like, yeah, I do. And she does end up telling him, like, I can't work here because I won't compromise my morals.
Yeah, and he's like, thank you for not lying.
yeah. He's like, thank you so much.
And he's a nice guy with a cutie dimple.
He has a cutie dimple. He doesn't deserve this. Yeah, so Phoebe quits her job. Another dud of a job for Phoebe.
Mm-hmm.
But she did the right thing.
Yeah. Then the phone rings and someone's like, I need to see a property. And Phoebe, even though she just started working, she's
my
just
God.
a silly little assistant, is like, I guess I can show you.
Yeah, she's trying to be a good
That
person.
what? Where are the keys? What's the what?
Yeah, also just like you don't even know what's going on. Like you what? Why? And you just quit. Like wouldn't you just be like I
I know,
quit. I'm
like
not answering
not
the
my
phone.
problem, not my circus, not my monkeys. Am I
Exactly.
right,
Not my
ladies?
chan, not my problem.
Right.
But yeah, this seems shady.
It's
and then
not right.
after the conversation, we see that it was the demon
Of course.
pretending to
Barbus.
use someone else's voice to lure her there.
As you do.
And then Phoebe gets to the property and she's like, hello?
Also,
Hello?"
Mrs. Joffe, fake
Yeah,
name.
very
Come
fake
on.
name. Mrs. Joffe?
And there's a big old pool, red flag.
And then there's the demon right behind us.
He grabs us by our little shoulders. That's not right.
Yeah. And she's like, there aren't any elevators around here. And he's like, you're so funny that you think that's your deepest fear. Your biggest fear is losing a sister.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Mortals need to look deeper. Down where the real truth lies. Your greatest fear is losing a sister, and I get 2 for 1.
Right. He's like, you mortals need to look deeper.
And he right.
True.
He right.
I always said, when I was young though, and people would be like, what's your biggest fear? And they'd be like, spiders. I'd be like, is it?
And I'd be like, are you sure? Because I'm really scared of like dying alone slowly in a dark room.
Right. Like exploding, burning to get death, drown, anything? No.
Loneliness.
Watching a loved one die,
Yeah.
suffer. Come on.
Illness. My body wasting away.
Spiders
while my
are
mind
not
stays
scary.
Strong. Or the opposite.
Or the opposite.
Or the opposite.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, and I am sick of this demon's voice changer.
Yeah, the demon used
That
Phoebe's
feels
voice.
illegal.
Used Phoebe's voice to call Prue and say, hey, I'm at this listing. Can you come pick me up? I need a ride. And then she's like, yeah, sure, I'm coming. And he got Phoebe tied up and she weeping. Those were words. That was English.
Excellent English. She's
Excellent
a high
English.
school graduate. Oh my gosh. And Piper's on this date with this guy, and I actually love it because, usually in the show, the guy turns out to be like a crazy demon or whatever. But instead, the crazy one is Piper.
Piper's being nuts.
He's basically like, you know what? I don't think this is for me.
Like, he
You
seems kind of normal and nice. And he also says to her at one point, and I was like, who is this guy? He says, I value home and hearth. What?
Really a very simple guy. I value home and hearth. Like to settle down, have kids.
No, and then
my God.
she's certain he's full of shit, so she freezes him and she looks in his wallet and
I wish I could do that.
He has pictures of his damn little nieces in there.
Yeah, it's really cute.
Ugh.
So he is great.
He
but
is
she
good.
ruins it.
And she ruins it. So
And she tells him that she's very superstitious, and that's what makes him like, ugh, I don't like you anymore.
he's like, oh.
which is fair.
Yeah. Prue shows up. She's like, I'm in the backyard. Phoebe's like, can't talk. Tied up.
Well, the demon's using her voice.
No, I know.
Can't talk.
You looked at me like she
I
didn't
was like,
say
that's
that.
not Phoebe
She
Jordan.
didn't say that, Jordan. She did. It wasn't her. I'm like,
Like,
ooh.
Jordan, there's a demon. There's a voice-changing demon.
Yeah, and Prue immediately knows this ain't
Oh my
right.
God, and he's gonna drown her in the pool. He said, "Bring your suit."
No, and this is honestly terrifying. Like
Now she's in
Phoebe's
the pool
just tied
drowning.
up, not having an active power.
This is what happens when you don't stay together. Don't split up.
This exactly.
Yeah,
When your mom
a
said,
demon feeds
"Oh,
on
you're
you."
going to college, or you're going to summer camp," buddy system. It's to prevent this.
It's to prevent this demon from victimizing you. Yeah, and we're getting close to death. We're drowning. We're drowning. We're drowning. Phoebe's freaking out. I'm freaking out. Are you freaking out? Probably. And then we see our mom.
Our mom.
Well, we
saves
hear
us.
our mom.
Yeah.
And we kind of vaguely
She
see
hypes
our
us
mom.
up.
You must face your fears, Prue. You must trust in the greatest of all powers, love. Mom, save yourself. Save your sister. Don't be afraid.
She's like, Prue, you have to face your fears. This is your mumsy.
Yeah.
She doesn't say that.
Lead me to the surface, mummy. No, sorry, and not to make fun of her.
This is very serious.
This is serious.
No, but it is a touching moment because our
It's
mom
nice.
saves us under the water. She says, "Take my hand."
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and thank God, because nobody else was coming to save us.
Honestly, and then what would have happened? Imagine Prue's just dead, and then Phoebe, what? He kills Phoebe? That's
yeah,
horrible.
and then he'll probably go kill Piper. But she comes up out of the water.
and he's like,
"What? You're supposed to be dead."
he's not pleased. The fear didn't fare quite right.
And she's not scared anymore. She throws him with her
Slams
power.
his ass.
I also love the score in this part.
Yeah.
It's like spooky, but also dramatic.
And this time, it's not a vanquish. It's more of a downward
Yeah,
sucking.
it's more of a return to hell. It's
Yes.
like you sucked back
A
into the
suck
underworld.
down.
I like it. So we will probably have to deal with him again.
Maybe.
Mark my words.
I hate you.
Yeah, and we're hugging and we're scared and we're crying and we're freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
Crying, screaming, throwing
And
up.
I love how really Piper's just like busy with her own problems.
Yeah,
this whole
Piper's like, I'm on a
episode.
date.
Yeah.
I'm on a weird
She's
date.
like, I keep dropping things keep falling.
Yeah, Piper just has no scary experiences this whole episode. He was like, I'll do her last.
Yeah.
She made her own problems all day.
Yeah. No, and then she's at home being real irritated with herself. She has no idea that like madness just occurred.
Yeah, she has no clue what was going on. Like, your sister's almost died while you were sitting here being grumpy.
Yeah, she's like, I'm bummed because I lost the only nice boy in San Francisco.
Yeah, she's like, I ruined my date.
Yeah, not great. Yeah, so they think
They're filling her in.
Yeah, they think Barbas is gone for a good, what is it,
1,300
years?
Yeah. And I don't
we'll
know about
see
that.
about that
I
because
don't
this
think
show
they're-
doesn't last that long.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think there are 1,300 seasons of this show.
Yeah,
So
not so much.
probably going to be a little sooner than that.
Mm-hmm.
But they're filling Piper in on everything that happened and how their mom saved them and all that. Oh, and we're like, wow, I missed a lot. I'm glad you're all right.
Mm-hmm.
And we're saying, I love you.
Yeah, Prue says, I love you.
Growth.
I love you. I love you.
Healing a childhood wound with our trauma.
Yay.
Re-traumatize
Sisters.
yourself to get over it.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Oh, and it's a nice moment.
It's
Nice sister moment to wrap up the episode. She had an awakening in that pool.
Who didn't? Then we see Prue looking at the book, and it's very cutie sad.
And she's sitting in the attic looking at the book. She sees her mom writing stuff as she's looking at it. Sad little
She says,
grief
thanks
moment.
for letting them into your heart, which is nice. And you should do, even if people die.
Yeah.
That's the moral of the story.
Yeah. Oh, good episode. Terrifying episode. Trauma. Well, thank you for listening to this traumatizing episode of The Power of Two Will Do Nothing for You. And join us again next week. This is our last video episode for a little while. So remember, we're leaving YouTube. You got to listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So all those links are in the Dropbox if you're listening on YouTube. They're also linked on our Instagram and our TikTok, which are The Power of Two Pod. So follow us there. We'll see you
And
next
leave us a
time.
nice review so that I can get myself a nice latte. I don't know
Yes,
how
please.
those correlate, but I just decided that
They do. They do indeed correlate.
Shrug. Bye.
Bye. The Power of Two Will Do Nothing for You is a Vanderland Productions podcast hosted by Jordan and Madison Vanderland, produced and edited by Madison Vanderland. All featured charmed audio and video clips are registered to the original copyright holders.